Pierre-Luc Dubois with a breakout season in Columbus. Just look at his ranks among rookies. Tied for first in games played because he played all 82 of them, and 20 goals, 28 helpers. Not bad at all. A huge factor on the power play as well, but he could be even better this year. Why? Well, let's check in with his skills and development coach, Kenny McCudden. Blue Jackets assistant coach as well. Thanks so much for joining us, Kenny. And I guess my first question is just with Pierre-Luc Dubois being 20 years old, obviously there's room for growth, there's room for improvement, but what would you say in your time spent with him has been the biggest change this offseason?
Well, I mean, the size. I mean, once he picked me up at the airport, I couldn't believe the size of this guy as far as the bulk on him. But I think his weight is the same. He just looks a little bit thicker. But what I love about him, he's a big player, as we know, but he does an awful lot of great things like a smaller player would. But I think we've got a good one there as a 20-year-old, and he's pretty impressive.
Kenny, you've worked with me when I was a young player, so I can only imagine some of the drills that you did with him. But what were you looking for to improve with Pierre-Luc this offseason?
Well, Alex, first of all, I enjoyed my days with you. You were obviously one of the elite, and I loved working with you. But working with this guy's a little bit different because of his size. Skating ability is a little bit different style than yours. But the main thing I think we try to do with Luke, whether it's myself or other assistant coaches with Columbus, is work on his acceleration. As far as his size and extension of his hands, and just being able to get to the net with his speed. And as far as a big guy, I mean, he does all that. And like I said earlier, he does it like a smaller guy.
When you remember your days with Alex Tanguay, I'm just very curious. What were his strengths, and what were the hardest drills that you put him through?
Well, I brought Alex up during the week in amongst a group of players. I said that Alex was one of the greatest players skating backwards, being able to pull himself out of traffic, being able to see the play. He can wind it up backwards better than most defensemen, but slippery player, great shot, great release as far as when he's got great pace going. Alex was just all-around talented guy.
So, Kenny, what does your job consist of on a daily basis with NHLers? Because we all know they play 82 games, and it's sometimes difficult to have the time to work with them in the regular season. What do you do with them the regular season? Do you have time on the ice, or you do some of that off the ice on videos as well?
Well, no, mostly, Alex, it's pre-practice and a lot of post-practice. The pre-practice is 25 minutes to a half an hour prior to practice every morning, grabbing 5 to 8 guys on the ice and just getting them through the paces as far as just their hands and their feet, and get them prepared for practice. And then post-practice, I'll usually stay out anywhere between a half an hour to 40 minutes with players. And the key thing there is just the same thing, working on positional play, passing, shooting, just every skill that you can imagine. But not much has changed, Alex. I'm not reinventing the game as far as a skills coach or an assistant coach. The things that I did this week in Montreal are the same things I did with you in the past.
Well, we all remember that brutal playoff series last year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They went up 2-0 on the road in Washington and then lost 4 straight to drop to the eventual Cup champs. When you look at this team, what are your realistic expectations? Not only do you think they can get back to the playoffs, because I think everyone around here expects them to be back in the playoffs, do you think this team has what it takes to make a big run?
I believe so. I mean, the culture has changed in the last 3 years in a terrific way. John Tortorella, an incredible coach, has a great pulse for this team, and assistants Brad Larson and Brad Shaw, as far as with the PP and the PK, do a phenomenal job. And now we got a new goalie coach this year with Manny Legacy. But we got a very, very young team and a very progressive team. And what I mean by that is we're just getting better, I think, all the time. And I think the key area where we are getting better is our pace. And our pace starts in training camp. And, we obviously need to get past that first round. And it was a blow to lose that series to Washington. But at the same point, I think we are nicking at it every single year, and we're getting stronger.
Kenny, let's get back to Pierre-Luc a little bit, because I know his dad coached, in the Quebec League, his dad very well into the hockey world. But you said a little bit earlier that you wanted to work with reach with the puck. What do you mean exactly by that? Can you explain to our viewer what you're trying to mean by reach, to expand the puck maybe a little bit further?
Well, Alex, first of all, he's 6'3", 6'4". So the extension of his arms, and then with a stick in there, he's able to defend as far as puck protect so well against players with good sticks. And we all know in the NHL today. I mean, everybody's got a good stick as far as defensemen with stick on puck, but working, as I said earlier, with that acceleration, that reach, that good knee bend, being able to make that lateral motion with his size and extend out. And, you know, I mean, even the smaller players have to be able to do it to be able to keep away from that defender. But with Pierre-Luc Dubois, I mean, his reach alone, whether it's on the forehand or the backhand, to be able to extend his arms away from a defender and make that play, whether it's a backhand pass, backhand goal, shot, whatever the case is, that's what I'm talking about with the extension of his arms.
That's great stuff. Thanks so much, Kenny, for the time, and obviously a lot of young talent, and we are all excited to see you guys back on the ice in just about a month or so.